Okay, good evening, brothers and sisters from all areas of the world, especially to all the English-speaking places that is being journeyed with our friars and our friends and all the networks of the Order of Friars Minor, especially for JPIC ministry. We are very fortunate tonight because in the midst of the season of creation, we're not just talking about ecology, but I think it's the first time that we're talking agriculture and ecology, agroecology, that is part of integral ecology. And I know our participants for this webinar are interested to know about this. So in the Laudato Si Revolution campaign of the order, we have these voices of the people. So we have decided to feature agroecology to be introduced, especially to those who are really wondering how this part of ecology important in our ministry. And I know every countries in the world are celebrating the season of creation, not only as Catholics, but even our brothers and sisters in other faith and our other denomination. So as you can see, this is a series of webinars that we are catering not only to the friars, but even with our collaborators. And again, as I said, our topic for tonight is integral ecology and agroecology. And maybe for the first timers, you're wondering why we launched the campaign Laudato Si Revolution. 5 years ago, our dear Pope Francis launched the revolutionary encyclical Laudato Si that changed a lot of perspectives, especially those people who love the environment. And now we have this platform by the guidance of that encyclical to continue our journey together as brothers and sisters working to protect our common home. So again, I welcome you to this webinar, and hopefully we will learn from our distinguished panelists for tonight. And for sure, I am also excited because they have their own expertise, and reading their curriculum vitae, they will really entice you on how they're really passionate with their work. So without further ado, I will open our webinar. But before that, may I remind our participants that if you have questions or clarification, you can choose the chat box and address the question. So after all the presentation, we will have the question and answer portion, and we will select some questions that our panelists will answer. But if the time will allow us, then we have many questions to discuss. But if not, you can directly address the question to our panelists. So I think you are really excited to begin this webinar. So our first speaker is the president of the GEN, or the Global Eco-Village Network in Africa. I'm very happy to meet a brother from Africa tonight, and the founder of the Network for Eco-Village Emergence and Development in the Sahel, or REDES. So, my dear brothers and sisters, without further ado, let us welcome and virtually give a hand to Ousmane Pame. Good evening, brother.
Good evening, Brother Angelito, and thank you so much. And this is really, yes, this is really a big privilege and honor to be part of this circle. And really, this is a circle of hope, of openness, of learning, of sharing. And today the world looks so dark because we receive so many, we have let dark forces overwhelm us with bad news all over. And the level of anguish, the level of anxiety is so high everywhere because, you know, some forces have decided to overshadow the good in our world. And so in this circle, I think it is very important that, you know, we hold also the light so that we can inspire all our brothers and sisters around the world so that we can, you know, improve the quality of our existence on this planet. And thank you so much. And today I am going to talk about, you know, eco-village strategies as a response to the ecological and socio-economic crisis in Senegal River Valley. So an eco-village, you know, is a community that is consciously working towards autonomy, self-sufficiency in food production, in the ways it produces its energy, in ways it produces what it needs to take care of itself. And because we don't need, you know, governments to tell us what our happiness is. We don't need, you know, a multinational to tell us, you know, what we should do to be happy. I think, you know, it is really up to communities to sit and think and take action so that we can change the course of this world. This is what eco-villages are about. And the term eco-village may be foreign, but I mean, this is exactly how Africa used to live, you know, not long ago. I was born in the very north of Senegal, in the Sahel region. I will show you a map of the Sahel region in a moment. And this is where I grew up. I was educated there, and I have a hero that is my own university, a hero that taught me so much in my life, who is my guide. This is my grandmother. Her name is Kumbacham. She lived for a century and 9 years old in the north of Senegal. A very simple but very happy life. And then she had you know, cattle, animals. And as a young boy, when I did not go to school, I would go and help her look after her cattle. She had, you know, over 90, and each cow had a name, had a history. You know, she was more at the service of her cows than the other way around. And she taught me a lot about vegetation. She taught me about, you know, so many secrets of life. And then about just 2 generations ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, this area was full of lions, full of crocodiles, and there so many animals. And also there were so many trees in this. It was just like a paradise on earth. And see this man, you can see next to her is a chief of a village. In the late 60s, he was attacked by a lion in the north of Senegal. But I mean, since then, the history has changed. This is the Sahel region, the Sahara Desert in the north, and we receive very little rain. Now we have lots of sandstorms. We receive, and temperatures can be very high, especially in May and June. And in the 70s, we had cycles of droughts that have turned the whole environment, ecosystems, into something like this. And then this pushed the younger people to go to the cities, to go to other places to look for better conditions of life. And definitely, we needed at some point to stand up and take action. And we thought, you know, eco-village strategies are the best for this region, because we've heard so much about, you know, from the multinationals, telling us what to do to farm, telling us what to eat, telling us so many other things. And then this led to this ecosystem disaster in the area. So one of the intergovernment, you know, initiative was to create a green wall across Africa. It's over 7,600 kilometers long and 15 kilometers wide. So that this is a way, a green belt to stop the desertification. In Senegal, you know, my my country, the government also created a national agency for eco-villages, and also a national agency and a ministry. In the world, this was a premiere. And also, we started, organizing communities around how to use traditional knowledge to farm, how to use the traditional expertise, to transform our own landscape. And we have some elderly people in the communities also who know so much, who are living libraries, literally. And then we use this knowledge, to inspire people. And in this area also, we build alliances with local governments, in Senegal and Mauritania. So far, REDES has partnered with 4 local governments, and part of the idea we have is to create a trans-border eco-village hub. Again, these borders are also a legacy of the French colonialism. So these borders divided families, separated people from their fields. They're completely artificial. And part of what we do in the Eco-Village movement is also really to unite the communities across the borders. And the idea is to create, federate 100 villages from each side of the border, so that we can work together on, preserving, on regenerating our own environment, because also desertification ignores, these artificial borders. Here in this area in the north of Senegal, we started having some sessions discussing with the people, and also really making some strategies with the people. And of course, religion is very, very important also in every aspect we do. We've got our Muslim leaders who also tell us really what our faith means in terms of working to preserve the environment, because this is a beautiful planet created by God. And our duty, when you are hosted, in a family, when you leave, you don't leave it as a mess. So it's a moral obligation for all of us, to make this planet much healthier. So we have elders who regularly talk and also try to inspire us and reconnect with also our faith in very practical ways. And so this is this is a very beautiful village in northern Mauritania. Not in early 2000, it was a complete desert. And so all they did was to fence 18 hectares and to keep the wandering animals out. It became a very luxurious forest. The forest came back naturally. Today, all year round, people can find food, the animals can find food, because also this forest is by the river. All the nutrients that come from the river can also feed the fish, and so it's all connected. And in this small village in southern Mauritania, life is much better. The quality of life is much higher than, in the big cities like Dakar, where I go to university. And then also we have started also creating some seed banks, creating nurseries to use local species, green species. And part of also this movement is really also to fight for our food. We need to eat what we produce and produce what we eat, and leave all these highly processed food that creates lots of disease like cancers. And also because we still have some animals around, we have also trained the local people to produce, for example, cheese, which is not known in the region. And now some businesses have started growing out of this. And we have been also in partnership with a very big, important eco-village in Italy, in the north of Italy, called Damanhur. And for the past 2 years, we've been, working together to also support the training of women in natural food processing. And also because we are in a place where not many people can read and write, we use theater as an education tool. You know, we use theater for the ecovillage design. We use theater to raise awareness around the plastics. We use you know, theater to tell women how to feed their children, etc., take care of their homes. And then it's very, very, efficient. And in the north of Senegal, we are currently building a trans-border inter-community training center. And then it's really amazing to see some of these people who came from Mauritania. Some of them have never crossed the border. And they came and worked to support the construction of this such an important building. Part of the programs also of REDES is to build schools. So we've been also building schools to support education, because without education, people will remain in ignorance and will be also easily manipulated. So this is a classroom we built together with international and local students. And so few months later, you can see these young children in taking their courses. They would not have any chances otherwise. And also, this is also a big learning opportunity for us. We bring Senegalese students and international students together to work on such a program. So REDES has an important international service learning program. Again, we receive US international students and local students. They go to the communities and work on a specific project identified by the people. And they talk to the community radios, and they do whatever they can according to their passions and according also to the needs of the local communities. And also for the past years, because you know, water is becoming a very serious issue, and REDES has been also creating wells for people to have water to drink, for people to have water for their cattle, and also start some small orchards. And so you can see these wells, and then they bring a lot of relief to the people in this area. Again, remember, it's very hot, and then even our existing rivers are highly polluted by chemicals from the farming products. And yes, and many of these have been just also the result of donations. How am I doing on time?
Yeah, 3 minutes more, brother.
Thank you so much. And then, so we are creating a food forest in the north of Senegal. And we develop some ecotourism also for people, because it's important for people to travel and meet and share. And so this is also how to build, you know, strong foundations to peace. And yes, we're doing this also really to support the future of our children. We're doing this also to change, because it's not a fatal issue to poverty is not a fatal issue. And together we can really work and support each other and you know, change, transform the lives of the communities. So thank you so much for your attention. I will be very pleased to complete all this with your questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, our brother, our Muslim brother, Ali. And I was really happy to see a glimpse of Africa in a short span of time, and how the agroecology is really working to give hope and reach people in their area. And I know our participants are having questions on their minds. If you have questions, feel free to use the Q&A chat box so we can address you after all our speakers. Again, thank you, Brother Ali, for that wonderful presentation. Now, from the Muslim tradition, we will now go to the Buddhist tradition. And what's very good for tonight's webinar is our differences can really make that common goal to unite our passion for agroecology. And now I can shortly understand how important this manner or way deals with the people we're working with, especially those people there down in the peripheries, in the far-flung areas. developing their own system by your guidance. So without further ado, our next speaker is the coordinator of Towards Organic Asia and the director of Wong Sanit Ashram and general project manager of Earth Trusteeship Platform Asia Pacific. Brothers and sisters, help me welcome Narumon Paiboonsittikun. Mon?
Yes. I would like to start with the short video, brothers. Thank you.
In Cambodia society, all people or people in general, they don't give value to agricultural sector. They give low value to them because they think that doing agriculture, it is not rich, it will be poor and poor. Normally people always say that no market for their product, but actually we have a big market for them. Like you can see from neighboring countries like Vietnam, they always import their product to our market every day. So our market, there is a big market for them. Why our farmers say there is no market at all? It has a big market, but farmer need to have a guidance from the officer, from agricultural officer, need to guide them how to do marketing, how to produce, how to follow the production plan in order to meet the demand on the market.
If we don't have this kind of training, it will be difficult for the young people to take up a career in farming. So that's why I decided to work with a group of young people to set up example, pilot farm school. We would like to see more young people to involve in this kind of learning and this kind of activity. And if the young people would not take up this kind of opportunity or would not take up all this kind of career, it's difficult to imagine how we can bring about sustainable development.
In Cambodia nowadays, our people, they are affected by a chemical substance of eating chemical product. They import it from neighboring country. So that is a problem. So we want to change it, but change it in a positive way. Before I become a young farmer or I moved to live at a farm, I formed a team already to run the business. So my first step is to run the business. Our business at that time is to supply organic vegetable to the customer in Phnom Penh. But it is not go smoothly, so we changed to run our own farm in order to supply directly to the customer. Fortunately, at that time, we were guided by our senior that he know Dr. Kumar. So when we know Dr. Kumar at the first time, we feel enthusiasm to do this job very much. He involved in this kind of job and he have a lot of experience of guiding the farmer in Cambodia.
The young people want to start their own organic farming. First, they have to expose to a certain experience in any farm. It's very important. And second, during the work you get experience. It's more important that you gain experience. When you fail, it means that this failure will teach you.
Running the farm, it always has the problem. We cannot avoid the problem. Problem is part of our life. So our main challenge that we have faced until now, such as weather, such as labor, such as insect and disease, lack of technical and team responsibility. We got many pressure sometimes. We feel stressed. We feel that we don't want to do it again. But we still want to do it because we see a big picture in the future. We see that the system that leading by teacher Kumar, we see that this is a new system and also a new one that will provide the benefit to the people as a whole. If the people or young farmer not involved to do this job, who does this job for us?
In the next 10 and 20 years, so we worry that we don't know if we have a new generation of farmers who can continue farming, but in a different way. It's more sustainable, it's more in organic farming, and it's more community-oriented farming. And if this kind of model is successful, I hope that we can attract more young people to come and to learn, and then we can also attract more interest from the government to develop organic farming school. And this is should be the future of the agriculture school. Yeah.
In the next 5 more years, we want to create a farm like this, an organic farm that run by young organic farmers across the country. Right now, under Dr. Kumar's support, we have 3 organic farms already.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing this, and thank you for inviting me for this panel. So I'm choosing this video because I would like to show the reality of the young people on the ground and the voice of the young farmer who's really working in the communities. And before going into the details, I would like to explain a little bit about our work. So towards Organic Asia, the organization that we are working with this is a network of the country in Mekong regions like Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Thailand, including Bhutan, because Bhutan is promoting 100% organic country and gross national happiness, which is really inspiring for us all. So our partners working for promoting organic food for all and agroecology, including mindful market networks. So the video that we just see is actually a series of 4 videos in total. And this is about young organic farmers in Asia. And the name of the series is A Journey of Hope, which is telling the story of young people who pursue the career in farming, and the voice of the community, which is based on the principle of agroecology in different aspects. Like other some video is about the common mission to save life for communities. When the young people return home, how can we save and protect our common homes together? I can share the link of video after the end of our presentations. So thank you again for having me here and be able to discuss and learn from you all. And I would like to thank you, Ousmane, for sharing your beautiful works from the community in Senegal. It's very hopeful to see the beautiful people in the beautiful location working on sustainability and resilience, which is really give me a lot of hope to see that the vision that we have is we have in common. We want to pursue a better society, and the principle that you are working on equality and also the principle that we have for agroecology is quite similar. Like we're talking on environment, ecologies in the areas, in the boundary that we are working. Economy, right? Social, people involved for sure, and culture that we have. And for agroecology network, of course, towards organic Asia is not the only one. We are working with brothers and sisters in different networks, and we hope that by doing something like this, we can connect more and we can share more the ideas and experience towards sustainable society. To promote organic agriculture and agroecology, there are so many levels. And I think I don't have to talk much about the problems, right? The farming sectors, particularly the monocrops, including nowadays we have hydroponic, which is use of a lot of chemical and synthesis, which is not good for the environment, not good for river, not good for us all. And people who consume the products also get the impact from that. So this area of problems, I think everyone understands, but what towards Organic Asia and partners working in this movement, we are supporting the change in the field in terms of the production part, like to help farmers to have a good technologies, skills, and encourage their local wisdom to work on good farming and to have a healthy and organic products for all consumers. Also focusing on the contribution, right? How to send the product from the farm to consumer in the location that we are also care for energy consumption. And also consumer side, how can we have fair shares between consumer and between the farmers, and we can support each other. So it's linked together. This is the work of the people who understand the holistic view of the society, of the ecologies. It's not just for human to be able to survive, to be able to get a good food at the low price, but all aspects needs to be considered. And so many people work on that. Many networks work on that, and organizations. So what we have in common is we support each other. What I would like to emphasize tonight with the audience and also have a dialogue is about the young people, the new generation who want to do farming. And this is one of the strategies that our partner in the network would try to work together. So in the video, the young people, he stressed clearly that nowadays people don't give value to organic sector. This is a problem that we see. And what is the cause of that? So when we sit with young people in many countries, not only in Thailand, we know that people have a notion that to be a farmer is like to be a poor people. So if you pursue, if you accept your career path as a farmer, families, community will say that you're choosing the wrong thing to do for your life, and in the future you will be poorer and poorer. So this is the things that towards Organic Asian partner working on, link with other networks in terms of promoting agroecology. So I think we are fighting in the worlds, the two worlds that have conflicting and this misunderstanding on sustainability. We are really promoting on materialities, but on another hand, we are forgetting spiritualities. So for the world, or as a part of promoting agroecology, I think we need to take the balance and bring back the clear understanding of people, that the work of the people who's really involved with the soil, with the natures, who produce the food, is an important work. And this is the work that we should have the new generation, the young people, continue in the future. Otherwise, it cannot be sustainability society. Like one fact that I would like to share, if the time is allowed, that in Thailand, we are agrarian society, and I think many countries in Asia and other also, we are based on farming. And nowadays, the average age of farmers in Thailand is 58. Imagine in the next 10, 20 years, what will happen to the society about the food system, about the food sovereignty. So no one wants to be a farmer because the notion that we have is totally wrong. So how can we change that? So what we are doing with our partner is to build the capacity of the young generation who want to be a farmers, empower the young people to understand more on organic farming, learning by experience, and learning from intergenerations, also learning from their failures to be a good farmer. And that part of the work, the career that they want to be, is helping society as a whole. It's not just for themselves. It's not just for earning money, but taking care of nature, taking care of people. I think I can stop for now, and later on I can interact and dialogue, because when we want to give back the value to some career, I think this community can help me to explore how can we change that mindset, change that paradigm, so to give the meaningful to the society to tackle the climate change and other global impacts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mon, for that wonderful sharing. I was really touched with your challenge, especially to our young people of this generation. If they're watching this webinar, they know that they are the future of our world, and how important that they will also learn the value of this agroecology. And in this time of pandemic, there are many people who are not eating. Here in my own country, we're trying our best to help, but food is not enough for everybody, especially for the poorest among the poor. But what I am really amazed is we're giving these young people the opportunity to learn and value the importance of agroecology, that they can pass it over to another generation, and that sustainability, that we can also have food on our table even we have a simple lifestyle. And Pope Francis is challenging us with the Laudato Si term, that in the midst of rapidification, we need to slow down and identify what are the most important things. We value the simple lifestyle that we had begun before. So I think that's a very good contribution, Mon, and challenge. So from Africa to Asia, now we will go again to Asia. And from our brothers and sisters, Muslim brothers and sisters, to Buddhism spirituality. Now, it's my pride and honor to introduce my very own brother. He's the current provincial of the St. Michael Archangel Province in Indonesia, the founder of the Eco-Pastoral Center in Flores, Indonesia. And he also founded other 3 Eco-Pastoral Center in his province in Indonesia. So without further ado, may I introduce my brother Franciscan, Michael Peruhe. Let us give him a round of applause. Welcome.
Thank you, Brother Angelito. And thank you, Ousmane, Mon, for your sharing and all the participants. We will start with the video from Eco-Pastoral.
Dengan pertanian organik, saya diuntungkan secara ekonomi.
Terpujilah Engkau Tuhanku, berkuasa segala sesuatu. Terpujilah mulia namamu, atas berkat-Mu kesenyap penjuru. Kau anugerah.
Tidak perlu lagi menganggarkan uang untuk membeli pupuk kimia, bibit hibrida dan pestisida kimia, karena semua sudah disediakan oleh alam itu sendiri.
Sekarang saya merasa lebih sehat dan alam tidak dirusaki lagi oleh kimia.
Dengan pertanian organik, saya bisa menghematkan bibit dengan penanaman. Kalau dengan pertanian modern, saya menggunakan bibit 20 kg per 0,8 hektar. Maka dengan pertanian organik, cukup 9 kg per 0,8 hektar. Jadi ada penghematan 11 kg bibit.
Pembangunan Ciloto memang sudah 11 tahun yang lalu dengan berbagai kegiatan-kegiatan Eco-Pastoral dan organik, kemudian diharapkan ada sarana bangunan untuk nanti dipakai.
So, dear brothers and sisters, greetings of peace I want to continue the same idea that Mon shared about agroecology. So when we talk about integral ecology in the Laudato Si encyclical of Pope Francis, I remember our ministry to help the poor farmers and ecology. We call the ministry was Eco-Pastoral Franciscan. We started the project when Indonesia was in financial crisis in 1997 until 1998. So those farmers at the time were suffering from weak financial support to sustain their farming. So this critical situation had encouraged us to take any possible action to help the people in that area survive the crisis by giving applicable solution. So at that time, I was a master of postulancy, but I dedicate my time to help farmers surrounding the friary because they were very suffering with this crisis. Based on my personal reflection and how to read the signs of the times, I try to respond the situation into real action at the time. First, being with the farmers in their real situation. I don't know how to solve the problem faced by the poor farmers. We started to develop dialogues with them and gaining the solution together with them. We gather the farmers to share ideas, experiences, and practice knowledge on farming model. I also share an idea of agroecology in the system and practice. So we talk about how to produce organic fertilizer and pesticide, which are much cheaper and harmless for the environment. We instituted the farmers to stop their dependency on chemical fertilizer and pesticide and started to make their own. And the second solution, I'm not expert in agriculture because I studied theology and philosophy. So I must force myself to learn from anyone in the field, self-taught through internet, reading agriculture books and magazines. I practice all the knowledge that I have learned in my own community in the postulant house. This practice gave me many insights that I could share with the farmers when we gather together, and I can share my experience. What was special with this program, like Mon shared, how to involve the young people in this movement, I start to involve the local youth. I could happily share my ideas, dreams about agroecology or organic farming as an alternative farming model. Then we were there to dream and implemented our ideas, strengthen our commitment little by little, day by day until now. So we started with the young people staff, and we worked together, we learned together how to run the Eco-Pastoral movement. So that's why we noted some essential aspects of the project First, commitment. Commitment is very important. Our commitment in conducting this project is inspired by the Franciscan charism related to sustainable ecology. Therefore, we call our program as a Franciscan Eco-Pastoral movement. The second aspect is study together. We work and learn as a community, peer teaching among the staff and among farmers. Cross-learning between the staff and the farmers were a common practice. We realized that none of us were agriculture experts, so that we were eager to do a weekly communal study program. Sometimes we invited someone to teach us, and we learned in everyone. We opened our mind and our heart to learn from everyone. And the third aspect is about professionalism and sustainability. At the first time when I run the Eco-Pastoral movement, I think about how to sustain this movement. That's why I invite the young people, especially our staff, to facilitate them to prepare their education, and they learn about organizational management. We sent four of our staff to attend agricultural courses and project management, so they can plan, monitoring, and evaluate the program. And the fourth essential aspect is about transparency. At the beginning of the Eco-Pastoral movement, I invite the young people as a staff how to learn about transparency. So we meant that all of the planning was clear and visible, that those plans were double and transparent, open for other members to give inputs. We also managed to set up a transparent financial management, so they learn about that. And the fifth aspect is about empowerment. We focus on our staff empowerment, encouragement, and enlightenment for the sustainability of this ministry. This is the key factor for me for sustainability of this movement is our own staff. We believe that we need to prepare and facilitate them to update their skill and knowledge. During we run the Eco-Pastoral movement, I noted three success stories. It's the story about our success. The first, we create freedom for learning and farming environment for the farmers. Since we established the Eco-Pastoral movement, we gain huge response and support from the farmers, the local government, and the local church. We also host an annual farmers gathering on the World Food Day, where we try to bring farmers together to share their experience and knowledge and to encourage them to continue practicing organic and sustainable farming methods. At the time, we share our point of view from the Franciscan charism. And also, we invited the young generation, the student from the school, so they can share their knowledge, their experience to their parents as a farmer. So we share together, we have a time to share together, to think together, and then we make a program together. And the second success story I noted, increasing ecological consciousness in school. So Mon and Ousmane talk about how to invite and involve the young generation in our agroecology. We also increasing ecological consciousness in school. So since the establishment, we believe that eco-pastoral movement will sustain throughout the years. That's why we started to develop and compose ecology and organic farming learning module for the local school. So in the school, they teach organic farming model. And we have 2 gathering in 1 year. One workshop for students. All the students from about 15 schools, they come together and they learn together. We call free learning from the nature. And then they compose their opinion, their knowledge, and they share to their parents and other people. And the second workshop is teacher, because they teach organic farming in the school. So we have an opportunity to gather them and they can learn about the eco-pastoral, about organic farming. And then they compose the model of the organic farming that they can teach in the school. And the third success stories is about our staff. Go from zero to a professional. Why I want to share this? Because when the Eco-Pastoral started, the young people that I involved them in the movement, Eco-Pastoral movement, they have no agriculture education background. And some of them had limited formal education background. A few of them graduated from high school. So they must learn together. They develop their theoretical and practice knowledge, and then now they become a trainer, instructor, and guide for the farmers, the student, and the people, even the government.
Last minute.
Okay, this is the challenge for us. We face implementing the eco-pastoral movement is changing people mindset and attitude. This is a very difficult how to change the mindset and attitude from the farmers or people and then the young people. But it is the important. Why is this important and significant for the future of the church and the Franciscan order? First, the origin of the church and the Franciscan calling in order to take care of the Mother Earth, our common home. And the second, a witness on our option and compassion towards the poor and marginalized due to ecological destruction. As St. Francis shows us just how to inseparable the bond is between concern for nature, justice for the poor, commitment to the society, and interior of peace. And the third, caring for justice, respect, and responsibility towards the God's gifts through the creation, and caring for justice and solidarity between generations. So lastly, finally, Angelito, I witnessed that our friars, Franciscan friars in Indonesia, have become more conscious and aware of the spirit that the Eco-Pastoral ministry brings, that they are implementing the same spirit in different settings of their ministries among the local people. See at the picture behind this. This is one of the Franciscan priests in the parish. After he baptized the kids, he offered to the parents trees. So the parents will plant in the garden as a sign of the baptism of their kids. Thank you. We will share more than I can present. Thank you, Angelito.
Okay, thank you, brother. It was really enriching that in our pastoral approach in our ministry as friars and as pastors, we can also help our people there down in the peripheries or even in their parishes on how we view things in terms of sustainability. And as you shared in the time of crisis in Indonesia, that particular process and system helped the people to sustain their, not only the food, but even as brothers and sisters in the community. And with all your sharing, I think the most significant point is it's not about religion or faith, but it's about how we value the source of our sustenance. And as I have said before, Michael shared this presentation, in this time of pandemic, I think we all need this agroecology. And for crying out loud, there are people who are really not eating in this time. And when we look at them, sometimes we have limitations. But you, the three panelists gave us hope on how are we going to help our brothers and sisters, especially there down in the communities. And in this point of time, we were very fortunate because we have friends who are with us from all over the world, from Brisbane, Australia, from India, from Jakarta, Indonesia, West Papua, Canada. Our brother Anglicans are also here from Solomon Islands in Papua New Guinea. Where else? I think in Facebook also watching our live, we have brothers from Latin America, Korea. My one brother Filipino is in Japan, from Honduras. So there are many watching this webinar, and I think the three panelists gave us inspiration with their own specialization in agroecology. So for our participants who are here with us and our friends in the social media in Facebook Live, you can address our panelists, or if you have questions, comments, or sharing, you can use the Q&A button or the chat box. Also in our Facebook, you can make a comment. I'm also monitoring our Facebook Live. So I think this is the time you can address our panelists. So while we are waiting, again, the Office of Justice and Peace and Integrity of Creation in our General Cura is very happy to have Ousmane, Mon, and Michael, not only to share about how agroecology is intertwining with our spirituality to help our brothers and sisters in the community, but also to highlight that aspect that it's really possible that in times of crisis, we can survive together, not owning this poverty alone, but there are possibilities. We need to be creative, and we need to invite people uh, to, 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 to create pastoral programs or programs that will help. Okay, I think there's a question from Lourdes Bonberg.
Hello, good morning to everyone. I live in Canada. My question is, it is such an interesting way of seeing it, but what kind of organic pesticide do you use for the farming?
So who would like to answer?
The kind that Canada already banned. That's my first answer. Yet the pesticide network in Thailand and many places around the world that fighting, for example, glyphosate and what is the three things? Yeah, the very high carcinogen synthesis that the government still allow it to be used. So we are fighting on that, and to address that, many people, many civil society get together to fight the use of chemical that has been manipulated by the big company. It's still on fighting.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. It's such a wonderful project. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Lourdes.
Thank you, Father.
Okay, how about Gabrielle? Are you raising your hand?
No, thank you.
Okay, I saw the hand icon. So,
Oh, yeah.
any other question that you want to address our panelists? From Katie, just an expression of gratitude to all for what was shared. For example, an inspiration from Pennsylvania, USA. Thank you, Katie. Other questions? Do you think in this point of time, going organic is difficult? I mean, here in the Philippines, there are a lot of awareness and consciousness, but I don't know how they flourish in introducing organic items. And our parishes are pushing through helping our agroecologies. But I think in the mainstream, there are a lot of challenges, especially when we talk about capitalism. But as people who are really advocating agroecology, what are the difficulties in raising this kind of awareness? Who would like to answer?
Can I go?
Okay.
Yes, please. Well, thank you. It was so enriching, to hear you, Michael and Mon. I visited Mon some years ago in northern Thailand. I was really inspired by the powerful projects that are happening there. And thank you so much, for what you've shared, and also being an active change agent, for the better of this. And Michael, I really appreciated also what you shared, and especially, with the connection with the local schools. It's funny enough because we have here a network of high schools, okay, also trying to do things, concrete things in their own school spaces. And from there, changing the kids who will also change the villages. And then maybe it would be good to establish a bridge between your network of schools and also here, so that they can also learn and support and inspire one another. Yes. So the sister who asked the question about the pesticides, I am not an expert at the chemicals, but I can tell you that not long ago, about 30 years ago, in my area, no one knew how to use pesticides. I mean, we used to produce 100% organic food, 100%. So no chemicals, no herbicides, no any of those sides we are, but I mean, these banks, these industries, they know how to approach people. First, it's free, and then you try it, and then you become lazy, you become dependent, you buy the seeds from Monsanto and all this. And all of a sudden, in just one generation, we've lost so much of this knowledge and all and these practices. I know, for example, to keep the seeds from insects and so they would, use a cow urines to work as mosquito or as insect repellent. People also use neem trees to address some of the parasites. I mean, we had some experts who came who also, I mean, from the community, of course, who have lots of knowledge, who train, the local farmers not to use chemical pesticides, but I mean to use this knowledge that is already available among, the elders. Thank you.
Thank you, Ousmane. What is unfortunate is we have few time to be on air and talk about these things. But I'm really privileged to be your facilitator this evening. And I know there are a lot of questions there from our attendees. But now, again, I'm calling our panelists to give their words of inspiration or challenge to all of us who are present in this webinar. So now, may I call on my brother, Michael?
Okay, thank you, Angelito. I do believe that we should think eco-pastoral movement as an invitation to place our faith in the context of our times, to generate new habits for the sake of the gospel and our Franciscan spirituality, which always in favor of the betterment of our nature and all creation. That's my belief.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Our order needs a lot of friars like you, and I know being a provincial, it will affect the entire province with the views and the orientation you have. It's a privilege having you in this webinar. Thank you again. Now, Ousmane, any words, inspiration, or challenge?
I'll be very brief, especially as I've used some of my time. And again, money and technology are not often big constraints. If there's a will, if we use it properly, the strength of the youth, of the women, together in the community, we can definitely transform our daily lives and then make this planet breathe again. And thank you.
Thank you, Ousmane, and greetings of peace to our brothers and sisters from the Islamic community all over the world. And again, thank you so much. And now, Mon?
Yes, thank you for the opportunities for sharing and learning from you. So as Father Michael mentioned about working on agroecology is many aspects, and we all see that it's not just production on farmer science. I see that now we are all the consumer, they are consumer science. And in this crisis, in the pandemic and the global impact on climate change, I think doing like this is the entry point that we can collaborate. And I hope that we can take action to make a solidarity in action by collaboration in the further step. And as we are consumer and make a political change, I would say that eating can be our political action. Like Father Angelito mentioned about the Pope said, eat simplicity. We need to be taking care of our behavior. So I would say eating can be our daily revolution, and we can make change towards the just and peaceful world.
Thank you so much, Mon, and warm greetings to our Buddhist brothers and sisters. And in this season of creation, we are all again invited to have that ecological conversion. Before we finish, announcement that the next webinar about mining will be on October 24. So please, especially to our participants, to journey again with us and for the next series of this Laudato Si Revolution webinar series. And tomorrow, September 7, will be the last day of registration for the course on Laudato Si and Integral Ecology. And I know you have questions. You can just type it in the chat box while we finish this webinar. Again, on behalf of the JPIC office of the Order of Friars Minor, we thank Michael, Ousmane, and Narumon and all the attendees. And of course, to the man behind who is not showing his face, Brother Rufino from the office, thank you so much. And I want to end this webinar with a challenge given by Cardinal Turkson about Laudato Si in agriculture. He said, "Our lives in the entire world we inhabit are gifts freely given by God. Gifts that should inform how we act if we permit it. God's gift will humanize and civilize our economies, where agriculture undergoes conversion to the integral ecology of Pope Francis, where farmers, traders, buyers, and sellers see their wealth as common goods rather than just private property or poverty, and see the food they produce, prepare, and distribute as sustenance we share, then the whole enterprise will sustain our human being and our common home." Again, this is Brother Angelito Cortez. Greetings from the Philippines, and we thank you for joining us with this evening. Peace and all good. Thank you, and see you to the next webinar.